and we're excited. You know, we're traveling to Vegas tomorrow, and we're actually stopping in Phoenix to watch the game. So that's pretty important. Yeah, just looking forward to it. It's going to be a battle for sure.
When you're young and you coach young kids, Amy and Bruce, what kind of impact does these type of games have on the 10, 11, 12-year-olds?
They want to emulate those players. They want to be just like them. They want to be, there's a commercial out right now with Alex Morgan beating some players, and the little girl comes back out and, gets her ball with her teammates and it emulates Alex Morgan. And that's what these kids do. So when the women were having such a great time in the times you were talking about in the 15, 12, that brought this generation up knowing how it is? Absolutely. I mean, and Bruce has been around the women's game for, as long as anyone. And the number of women and young girls that come into the game is fantastic, and that's why we're so successful in the U.S.
You would be a product of that, Maury? Is that true?
I hope so.
You are.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? But 20?
22.
22. So were you impacted as a young woman or young girl watching these women play back in the day?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that now it's more prominent. You see it a lot more. Like Amy was saying, you see commercials. I think when I was growing up, I don't think I saw much of that. So I'm kind of happy that, the World Cup is as competitive as it is now because, young girls are looking at that. I feel like I watch a little bit more men's soccer. I don't know if that's just how the media sees it. There's a lot of inequality going on and all that stuff, but definitely, I look up to them now, and I'm 22, so. Yeah.
One of the, and I told Amy here, I kind of bounce around in my questions, kind of just the way I do it. Women's soccer, in fact, I saw somebody yesterday, I told them I was going to do the show, and they said, you know what, that women's soccer is more pure than the men's soccer.
Absolutely.
It's just better soccer because of how you see, and they said, and the men flop too much.
I wouldn't even say men, I'd say boys too.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's some of it's they see it. They see Cristiano Ronaldo flying all over the place, and in the men's game they see it so often, and so they want to be like them. But absolutely, like you said, the women's game is more pure. If we have a bloody nose, we plug it up and we keep playing.
You guys are tougher too. You guys are much tougher.
Big time.
Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. What I like about the women's game and where I've really seen other teams catch up to the U.S. is the athleticism of the women's soccer players. Not only the national team, but you get into college and high school. But one thing going back about who watches this, I feel as a 60-year-old American sports fan, this is the first women's team I've ever seen any sport that for people 20 and under is gender blind. They like it because they like the soccer. And it's not about girls watching women or women watching women. It's about people, soccer fans, watching the U.S. women's team.
And I would even say not just soccer fans. I would just say sports fans.
Yeah.
I was in Austin last week, and I'm sitting at a sports bar at a hotel, and literally, I'm like, hey, can you turn the game on? And the woman, the bartender was like, yeah, we already have the game on. Someone already requested it. And so I'm sitting there during the day, a hotel conference area, and there's women's soccer on every TV, and everyone was watching it. Right.
Just to say this, they beat somebody very bad the first game.
Thailand.
Maury, when a team, and you got a lot of criticism for it, when you beat a team that badly, does it really matter? Shouldn't the other team prevent that from happening? Does that make sense? If I'm going to beat you 13-0, that's on you. That ain't on me.
No, it is on you.
It is on me?
You want to prevent it, but you can't. So you just got to keep going. I saw a lot of talk about, passion and the no mercy rule. You just got to keep going. And they were saying that, they train for this.
Yes.
So if you have to score 13 goals, you have to score 13 goals.
I totally agree with you. You. It's like people who were complaining about court storming and all that. You know how you prevent court storming? Win the game.
Yep.
True.
Defend your home court.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that the points lost too. I mean, I really blame it on FIFA, that 13-0, because the when you go down to a tie, if going through, the U.S. women wanted to go through first out of their bracket. They needed to score as many goals as possible, and that's FIFA's rule. And so really, we'll blame FIFA, not the women, on that.
Yeah. Are you going to say, good game, I'm sorry we beat you 13-0? That's not what sports is about.
Be better.
Yeah. Be better.
Yeah.
Be better.
And they were in Thailand to really defend them. They were great the rest of the tournament. They didn't allow nearly as many goals. So
They showed up.
Right.
yeah, they
showed
did.
up.
They improved.
We're going to talk a lot about a lot of different things here, but you three, I think women's, and I've already said that women's soccer is better than men's in terms of visibility, and you can watch it. But the advantage they have in scholarships, does that help too? Because they get more scholarships to kind of grow the sport? I could be wrong.
I think at the college game, and Bruce can chime in on this. I mean, in terms of the college game, absolutely, there's more funding because of Title IX for the women.
But that's what drives the younger women or younger girls to be or go to college.
Yeah, go to college. Absolutely, every boy thinks they're going to be the next Messi.
Right, but they don't get as many scholarships either, too, right?
Nope.
It's like half scholarships.
Yeah, I'm sure Bruce can talk on that.
I don't know what the number. Well, if a college chooses to have a men's program, they've got to balance it out with Title IX.
Sure.
And a lot of colleges have chosen not to do that. So I would say, yeah, that strengthens the desire of young girls and the parents of young girls
Yep, absolutely.
to get them involved in soccer.
Maury, so you went to Tucson High?
Yes, I did.
Did playing soccer help you get to college, I assume? Or what was your process?
Yeah, so I, played AYSO growing up, played club, and then for 7 years I was at TSA, back when it was TSA. And then I went into Tucson High, and I got recruited by Pima, so Kendra Belize, and then I played 2 years at Pima, and now I'm at UVA, and I want to be a sports reporter, so, it all just comes back full circle,
Wait a sec. You want to be a sports reporter? You want to be broke the rest of your life? Oh man, we got to talk.
No, Maddie's going to make a name for herself for sure.
Well, I could maybe help you. Or you can help me be somebody then too. That's congratulations. I understand you're at KOLD.
I am. Yeah, I'm an intern with David Kelly. Is the one that's teaching me all the ropes.
Oh, good. DK's a great guy. So is Damien. So you're in good hands.
Yeah.
Yes. So enjoy that. So, but stick on the line. Go ahead.
Was the opportunity for a scholarship and to get some help going through college a motivator for you as a young lady, Monty?
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, when I went to Pima, everything was paid for, and sometimes, for lower income families, it helps out a lot, and it was a great starting point for my college career. So I'm definitely grateful to have had that money to help me, move on, and now I'm off to bigger and better things, but it was a great start for me personally.
Yeah, no question. You see that more often because there's so many. And you guys know every college has a women's soccer team.
Yeah, over 1,200 colleges.
1,200, really? And you have about 10, 12 scholarships, 15 scholarships available.
Depending on how the program's funded.
That's a lot of scholarships. That's good. Women's basketball has thrived because of it. Soccer, track, all that stuff. Okay, let's take our first break here. It's interesting discussion. Will you stick around for a little while, Maury?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have practice at 6:30.
Oh, wait. No, if you have to go, take off because it's almost that time. But I appreciate you coming in.
Of course. Thanks for having me,
Thank you.
Amy. It's great
Hey,
to
good
talk
luck
to you.
this weekend, Maud.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, and good luck. We'll take our break. First break here, Tom, here on 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk. Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 1030 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera. So let me ask a loaded question real quick, because I think you both, maybe Amy, you haven't have you coached men, boys? Have you coached?
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much as Bruce, but yeah.
Who is better to coach? Who's easier to coach?
When I first started coaching boys, I thought I could just yell at them and they'd respond, and they'd, just put them on an end line, make them run.
Sure.
And I didn't realize how emotional boys were.
Really?
I did not expect that.
Wow.
Yeah, but I know for me personally, coaching girls and women are easier. or more fulfilling, I suppose. But I'm sure Bruce
Wait. Let's hold on this emotional. What triggered them?
In terms of the boys?
Yeah, the boys.
I'm not sure. It was just a total surprise to me.
They couldn't handle it?
I don't know. It was just, I was not expecting them to be as emotional. You see these young men and just very guarded. And I didn't realize that, that there's actually some sensitivity there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce?
Oh, I build a little bit on what Amy's just said, because as coaches, and I've seen Amy coach, and I know she does the same thing, we look what we call them correctable moments. And it's like, I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to show the team what's going on and what's wrong, and then have them build out of it to correct that. And we go through the play. Women are and girls are so open to that. Boys, it's like you just smack them in the face in front of the girl they have a crush on.
Or they're not listening to you. They're looking at you, but they're not listening to you.
Exactly.
I was going to say the women probably do that better or correct things better than they do men.
Yeah, the boys already know everything.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and that's part of it. That's part of it. Yeah.
I prefer coaching girls.
Yes.
But I love coaching my son.
The emotional thing, part of it was kind of strange to me because, I just it was strange to me. That's good to know. Let's go back to the Team USA. This is not your grandmother's team, and this is not your mother's team. Back in the day, you had Hope Solo and that group where they became famous for winning and all that stuff. This is a total new, different group. True?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I would say the one thing with this team that they have is they have that legacy, they have the experience, and they have those women that have paved the way for them, and they certainly don't want to let them down.
Right, and that's typically the case. You don't want to be that team. You don't want to be that team.
I would think they do carry that pressure, Amy.
Yeah, and what does that pressure mean? I mean, because when you're playing, you don't think of that. You play to win, and you hope to win. But going into it, you says we just can't be that team. If you're down 1-0, you're thinking this could be it.
Yeah, I mean, I think carrying the country on their back, carrying every young girl and their dreams. So there's a lot of pressure. But the women have been in this position before, so I think it's not an uncommon spot for them. So legacy and experience is going to have to carry them tomorrow for sure.
What's in your mind at this level as coaches, because you might have different philosophies, what's more important? Athletic ability, experience, savvy, all that stuff. What would you put 1, 2, 3 in your importance of becoming a good player at this level?
To get at this level?
At this
for
level,
them?
yeah, the importance, the savvy, experience, athletic ability, what's the top?
Well, I would think it's having a very good tactical understanding of how you fit into the system, particularly in transition. What am I supposed to be doing relative to the ball when we've just won it? And what am I supposed to be doing relative to the ball when we've lost it? And I think when you get to the level of France, and I think this is where, some of our weaknesses could get exposed for the first time, because we do have some in defense.
Because of the youth? Because of what?
Inexperience.
Inexperience.
We've got, like Amy said, I mean, I'm looking at this lineup in front of me. Carly Lloyd hasn't started, but she's the only real carryover player of the whole starting team. We've got some depth. I mean, Becky Sauerbrunn has been in the back for 6 to 8 years, but she's one of our more experienced players with 6 to 8 years right now. So you really hit on the head. There's a real change over here.
Would you agree? What would be your biggest concerns or the most important in a player at this level? Savvy, experience, speed?
Well, you would hope at this level that they do have the athleticism needed to play in that game. But absolutely what Bruce said, that tactical awareness of the decision-making that's going on. How do I manage a game? How do I manage the next, 5 minutes of this? We're getting beat down. How do I manage that? How do I adjust? So that tactical awareness, that savviness is probably, it's gamemanship. And I think that's probably one of the most important things.
But at this level, having gone through hundreds of games together or through the years, they should know that already.
Well, but look at the first goal, the goal we gave up against Spain on Monday, where the goalkeeper plays a ball out of the back and she plays to the 18 and one of our most experienced backs fumbles it, and and Spain scores. So you do hope they have that, but goodness gracious, we have some weaknesses.
Right. Or was it one of those things that happens in one of those moments?
Well, let's hope so, because and they fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our goalkeeper, her control of the box, particularly when the ball is in the air, is suspect, very suspect, and her distribution is questionable at least once every 2 games, if not twice.
That's not good.
It's not good. And like I said earlier, we are at that point. France, if we beat France, we're playing England. If we beat England, we're playing Germany. They will expose the mistakes. And we saw Sweden try and do it. They were attacking our back left side on big switches. And we also saw the team on Monday do it.
Yeah.
It's funny, and you guys coaches have been through a lot of this all the time, and I've written about this for hundreds of times. They beat Thailand 13-0, and I'm sure the world was thinking, God, that team looks great. They're playing so well. And I've always said this, it's about the team you played. It's not about who you are. It's about the team you played. Now, when you face a team that's equal or right above, now you'll find out how good you actually are.
Yeah, what you're made of.
Yeah, the Thailand game was just one of those games. They played and they won. But now when you have to play, it's like I compare it to horse racing, if it makes any sense. When you have a $100,000 horse against $50,000 horses, the $100,000 horse should win every time. Now you have $200,000 horses going at each other. Who knows what's going to happen? It could be a misstep, a missed gate entry, whatever, and here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to your point of winning that game 13-0, I mean, really the U.S. had the best, path going into this quarterfinal. I mean, we've really only had to play 2 games so far. Mm-hmm. We had Thailand, we had Chile, both easy games for us.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow.
I was encouraged. I was encouraged after the Sweden game because Sweden's a good team. They're a top 10 team.
And that was a close game, right?
And it was 2-0, but we played well and we controlled that game, and I was really, really pleased. And then I think we took a step back, but I just sensed that we may have overlooked that game.
I absolutely concur. I think you're right on there.
So, Amy, help me with this question. We had a caller earlier, or a question earlier. How did Arizona? How did the United States get better? Foreign players coming here playing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think really the question is how has the U.S. helped improve women's soccer across the world? And when you look at our college system for the last 25, 30 years, because of the implementation of Title IX, where there's so many opportunities for young women to go to college, play soccer, get an education. When you look at the rosters of the current World Cup teams right now, every roster, with the exception of 3 countries, so we're talking 21 countries, has had a player play either in college or in the NWSL, which is our women's Premier League here in the United States. So that's a significant number. But we are seeing a transition period here, or a change of guard, really, because the European teams, they have stepped up their game with the women's programs. Before it was always, women don't play soccer. And now the Europeans are finding, wow, women can play soccer. And they're partnering with their professional clubs and having a women's team. And these teams that are in the quarterfinals, most of their players, their top players are not playing in our leagues anymore.
Because they're better than that?
They're good.
Yeah, the French league, France, Germany, and the UK have all done it very, very well. And right now, they're really 3 of the top 4 teams left.
You kind of see that in basketball just the other way for men's basketball. In the draft that just happened, the game has gone universal. Now you've seen the European or the global effect on the game here. Kind of reverse for soccer. Yeah?
Yeah, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see in 2023 in the Women's World Cup how things shake out. And do they continue to carry, do these professional leagues continue to carry these women's teams and pour money into them? Because as we know, for a large majority, women's teams, professional teams, are not profitable. So hopefully these European teams are finding that market and are turning a profit.
Yeah. I had a quick question of women's and men's. Why is it that the United States women have been fantastic over the years, long term, where the men can't find the same success?
That's a really good question, Steve. I would say the college opportunity early on, and a good one, allowed soccer to help get soccer structured like softball and basketball.
You're talking about for the women's side?
Yeah, for the women's side. And we just had some very good players. I mean, we won in '91. I think there were 8 teams at the tournament, so it just wasn't very big. But you had UNC back then, Notre Dame, some great programs developing players, and we're the most athletic team. When the guy from UNC, Anson. He just outran teams. Long, direct I mean, his player, you could pick out a player who Anson recruited for the national team and UNC, but they were athletic. We played direct, and we just outran and outplayed teams. The world has certainly caught up to us athletically, and they have on the field too. Because I think right now, of the 8 teams left, 4 or 5 have a legitimate chance if they play well, that they could go and win the final. They really do.
Yeah, I would say why the U.S. men are not as dominant as the women is absolutely because we had almost a head start a little bit because of Title IX, and so many young women playing the game early on. But I think in the European model, the academy system has, for the boys, the young boys, and then going up
early.
Starting early and focused. I think that's probably a big difference between us. We're getting there, but we're not there yet.
Fundamentals, what is the difference? It's just everything.
And I think some of it could be we have a lot of sports to play in the United States.
Yeah, and I was going to say that.
And so, you have those kids at 12, 13 years old. Do I really want to play soccer, or do I want to play basketball? Do I want to play baseball? Do I want to play football? There's a lot of different options for boys that they could, always make money at or see on TV.
Yeah. This is another weird question, and only because I just thought about it now. Soccer's a kind of cerebral sport, spacing, moving the ball, get it in the direction, and time and space. I've always thought this, and this is not a bias because I have kids who play, that the smart kids play this game because it involves that time and space and teamwork. Not the others don't, but this is, you know what I'm saying? It's time, it's spacing, angles, things like that.
It's creative too. That's the game of soccer. I mean, when you have a game, we don't have timeouts. We don't have times where coaches can come in and influence the game. I mean, it's 45 minutes where these kids can really be creative. And so you absolutely have that. I don't know if it's smarter or not. I mean, I'm certainly a product of the game, and I don't think I was not one of those smart kids.
Obviously, you talk about there's no timeouts. You're thinking on your feet, literally.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're literally thinking, and when you make a mistake because the ball's going in the other direction. And
during the development, I have had kids who were just, go to University High here in town. They're very, very smart kids. And you can see them getting it when we're maybe introducing a new tactic or strategy or something. It clicks a little bit quicker sometimes.
Yeah, and that's no disrespect to the baseball players. I used to play baseball and football players, but you notice those things, and they're different. They're eclectic in a different way. Come on, and you have to admit that they are kind of different.
Yeah.
They are different. But you guys coached them all your career, so you know what they can and cannot do.
And it's hard. I mean, maybe a philosophical question, but it's hard to teach a 15-year-old how to play soccer. When you step on to a high school field,
sure.
It's hard to teach a 15-year-old how to play soccer if they don't have that skill set. I mean, I think with other sports, the other American sports, I think there's not as steep of a learning curve.
Yeah, no, it's hard to hit a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, but I totally get what you're saying. If they didn't grow up playing it, it's hard to it's like a language almost. Yeah.
Yes.
You know how it is to learn a language when you're older. It's very difficult. Very difficult. Okay, let's take a quick break here for our final one coming at the other side here on 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk. Hey, welcome back to Eye on the Ball here on 1030 The Voice. I'm Steve Rivera. You like my yacht rock radio music?
I do. I
Do you
do
pick
like
it out?
that.
Yeah, I pick up all my music.
Bring back the 90s.
That's it. Well, this is the
Impressed.
80s. This is when I was a kid. Like, this is the good old days for me. This is being on the radio. It's having fun. So when you guys coach like the youngest 6, 7, 8, 9?
I have a team of 9 and 10-year-olds right now.
9 and 10-year-olds. And Bruce?
The age of kids I coached mostly was 12 to 17-year-old.
And I would venture to guess if you had 15, 18 on your roster, 15 to 17 wanted to be pro soccer players.
Absolutely. On the girls' side, I mean, they really want to play in college. I mean, that's our job as
To get them ready.
as girls coaches, is really to provide an opportunity for them to go and play, because there are so many places that they can go and play. So yeah, that's part of our job.
You guys do a great job with that. In fact, I had, you're going to have to help me with this because you listened to the interview last week. She's with FC Tucson. She may have played for you. One of the twins.
Oh, Laura Pimenta.
Laura.
Yeah. She's a very smart girl. I remember doing a story on her when the twins got that scholarship to play, and I reminded her and she remembered. So she's, that was 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And now that she's now with FC Tucson.
Yeah, so she's playing with FC Tucson. She works at Raytheon. I
Really?
mean, it's just, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
just talk about a great product of Tucson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love that family, but really coming through the ranks, grinding it out. Essentially, she was a walk-on at the U of A, and earning minutes, earning a scholarship, and being a starter her sophomore, junior, and senior year, but really impactful that junior, senior year, and graduated, got a job at Raytheon. I mean, just killing it. And now is giving back to the game, playing for the FC Tucson women.
You were coach for how long? A year or two?
For her, I coached actually.
In FC Tucson.
For the women?
Yes.
I coached them 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
Holy moly. Did you have a great time with them?
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. It was there. You always want to win because you're a coach. And what was the pressure like?
We played. Luckily, with FC Tucson, there was always that underlying pressure to win. But as a coach, I mean, you always want to win.
Sure.
And then you have the ability to get your own players, and so there's a lot of freedom there. But we played in the hardest conference in the United States, so we played all the Southern California teams. So it was a learning curve. We got spanked around a couple times, but figured it out, and yeah, we won the conference last year.
I assume that the pressure is all self-imposed.
Yeah,
It's self-imposed.
but I think that's every coach, every good player.
Sure. But you guys go through some weird things because you have a month. It's almost just like 5 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks. And they're coming and they're going and they've got to do this and they got to do that. So your roster changes almost on the daily.
Yeah.
And you guys are pulling magic from whatever.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Yeah. And it's because the girls are so smart and driven too, that they have internships, they have jobs. There's so many other things that they have. They're not just here to just play soccer. There's very few of them that are just here to play soccer.
Right.
There's a lot of other summer school if they're a college kid. There's a lot going on in there.
Sure.
That summer for that short 6 weeks.
Same with your end, Bruce, because your wife has been a soccer, all her coached at U of A. You've seen all of it.
Yes.
Throughout the years, and now you were part of it for. Are you still coaching?
Nope, I stepped away 2 years ago.
Yeah. I'm sure you have a great life now.
I enjoy my evenings a bit more.
and I say that, and I say this with total conviction. The worst thing to happen to kids are the parents. They just need to let them play, let them enjoy their youth, and if they're good, more power to them. Just stay away. Let them enjoy their young time.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I say this all the time, that we need these kids in high school having a game at 8 a.m. so that they have something to get up for. They can't stay out all night, that they have a game at 8 or 9 in the morning, that they have to get up for and be productive. I mean, it keeps these kids out of trouble.
It was really instrumental for me growing up soccer and the responsibility that came with me wanting to stay on the team.
So you both played, I'm sure, but you played?
I played in high school.
So you kind of played when it was starting, when dirt was dirt and blah, blah, blah?
Steve, I graduated in 77. I'd played 3 years of high school soccer, no youth, and I went to Division III school and started and played every minute of every game as a freshman. It was a little different back then.
Yeah.
Nowadays, my 14-year-olds would meg me. So,
yeah.
Yeah, but that's how it starts. You start early and you continue to play. Let me also tell you, you have a friend, colleague, or whatever, Dave Cosgrove, who's been there forever. I think he's a fantastic coach. His style is different in his style, but what he did at Pima was unbelievable.
It was well deserved.
He's coached my kids throughout 10, 12 years. I mean, with Wolfgang and all these guys, but well deserved. He's like a grinder. In poker, we call him a grinder.
He's a grinder and he's a builder. I mean, he builds things that are sustainable, and it's hard to do. I mean, Kendra's done a great job too on the women's side. Oh, yeah. I mean, to build a sustainable program in a 2-year college can be challenging, and they've both done that. But Dave's been very, very successful.
Isn't that a tribute to the local programs?
I think so. Absolutely.
It's got to be.
Yeah, I had someone tell me years ago that if you can be successful at a community college where your roster changes every year, you can be successful at any place because every year you have really no consistency within your roster. And so, like Bruce just said, what Kendra has done and what Dave has done, I think is a testament to the local community and the local coaches.
Well, that also goes back to what you guys do at that TSA level. What's it called now?
FC Tucson.
FC Tucson, which was at TSA back in the day, and United way back in the day, I think it was.
Yeah.
Where it's and the kids are staying home more, not traveling all over to play for somebody else, but they're sticking around, playing for Dave and playing for the women's program, and making Tucson almost a mini place to play soccer.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea. I mean with the MLS coming here in the winter and loving it. We have our men's team here, the women's team with FC Tucson also. It is kind of we have a unique product here. It's almost like what the Northwest has done, and it's kind of what we're trying to do.
The Northwest in Seattle, and
Washington, and Oregon have phenomenal.
And you also have
development.
You also have a community of whoever. The politicians who I guess Keno's pretty good. I mean, I used to say when the kids were playing and we wouldn't play at Keno, we'd play these dirt fields and we had to go to Reach and the fields were phenomenal. And you say, how come Tucson can't do this? I know it's kind of an envy thing, but now you're doing that here.
Yeah, Keno's the envy of the state. Yeah, everyone has done a great job. The community members pouring into the youth.
And they're building some more, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think the leadership has really stepped up. And, youth organizations and the community leaders have to work together. But I feel that the communication has been very strong, particularly in recent years, and it's moving in a good direction.
Well, I think they realized what they lost in baseball. So they didn't want to lose other places too or other things. And this is one of those things where they see there's a potential there with kids growing up, and then they have the MLS and they have things coming in where there's a future in their youth playing this game.
Yeah, it keeps kids out of trouble.
Yeah,
that's the mark of a good society.
Well, you're a teacher too, correct?
Education, yeah.
Education, yeah. So you see trouble every day.
Yeah, a little bit. That's just with my own kids.
Hey, if I were a teacher, it's only my only way to get to heaven because you guys do a great job. I was a substitute teacher for a while back. This is no fun. It's not a fun time. It's tough. You guys do a great job. For whatever reason, it is a tough job. And coaching is too. Again, it's an everyday. It's a commitment that you guys want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, it is, and it's a labor of love.
Absolutely.
It's a labor of love. But there are so many coaches in this community at the high school level and at the club level who are really committed to the kids, and it's great to see.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar to teaching. Nobody gets into coaching knowing they're gonna make $1 million. Yeah, I mean, because you want to give back to what the game gave you.
Yeah, no question. Goes teasing Maury. You gonna be in sports? Oh no, you're gonna be broke. Yeah, I tease, of course, because I'm not broke, but it's a lot of fun too. I mean, go to games for a living, talk on the radio. How pressure is that?
Yep.
How much? There's not pressure at all. Hey, let's go back to talking about the big game tomorrow. So it's early. What time is it at?
12 o'clock.
Oh, so it's not that early. 12 o'clock. And you guys parties with the kids at all, or where are you watching?
Yeah, watch parties. There's watch parties all over town. And I actually don't know if General Benz is holding a watch party because the women are on the road. But I know our clubhouse, the FC Tucson clubhouse, is hosting a watch party.
What, Brandy Fenton?
Yeah, down at Brandy Fenton. Yeah, I have a watch party at my house. with all my high school kids.
I'm on a plane going to see my son, so I had a young person at work, but Hulu on my phone, so I'll be watching it.
That's awesome. We love Wi-Fi on
And
the
I finally
planes.
broke down to do that. That's how important this game is.
But you had to have somebody do it, right?
Jennifer walked in and I'm plugging away. She goes, Bruce, give me your phone for 5 minutes, and she set me up great.
Yeah,
That's
we
why
probably didn't even take her 5 minutes.
It's good to have kids who can just, please, could you do this for me? You know, yeah. So we have like 7 minutes left. I don't want to get a prediction out of you yet. Keys to the game tomorrow.
Goalkeeping for the U.S.
Yeah, you said yes.
Bruce said that. I think our goalkeeper has to step up. She has to play well. Our backs have to play honest. They have to do a better job than they did against Spain on Monday. Our midfield, I think, is very solid. I think we'll be okay in the midfield. We'll be challenged. And then our front runners, our forwards have to produce goals. I mean, on Monday, we didn't score a goal in the run of play. We had 2 PKs. So scoring goals in the run of play, creating opportunities, and just doing everything they can to put the ball in the back of the net.
I agree. France has really good attacking players. And so our 1v1 defending has to be strong. As Amy said, we're strong in the midfield, but we have to slow them down in transition. They counter-attack very well, and that's where we're vulnerable. In that quick transition against a counter-attack, our defense isn't always as organized as they should be, and we're very vulnerable on the weak side. Big crosses. So our midfield needs to pressure and not let them get that big switch of the ball or big through ball in transition, and then we have to score goals.
And this is a biased question because my son did play goalie, and you guys know that. To me, it's one of the key spots, because what's the point if you can play from the 10 to the 10, but you don't have anybody to stop the ball when it's most crucial?
Yeah.
I think she can stop the ball.
I do too. I think
her shot stopping is good.
Yeah,
and I think that's what keeps her on the
field. So what's the weak part of it?
I think she's just plain uncertain, inexperienced. I think she's just big shoes to fill. I mean, we have not had a new goalkeeper since '91. Really, we had Brianna Scurry from the mid '90s, '95, and Hope Solo through 2016. So this is a new era. I mean, really, we had 20 years of 2 goalkeepers, right. And so these are big shoes for her to fill. And
is she being compared to the 2? Is maybe some pressure?
I think no one's trying to. But I think it's the underlying. I think people think it.
Yeah.
But I think your word uncertain. She's uncertain in the air. And she just, when we need her to be confident, at times it appears that she's not as confident as you'd want a goalkeeper at this level to be.
How old is she?
Well, she's 26, isn't she?
I think she is 26. Yeah.
I think she's 20. And she played at UNC, won 2 national championships. She's a player.
Yeah, she is.
But she's very vulnerable on air balls in traffic, and they've got that big center back for France who is killer. Yeah, so we have to not give up a lot of corner kicks.
Yeah, set pieces will be for us just playing safe and not giving up set pieces. France is very deadly on their set pieces, but putting a plug in for the U of A, Lainey Burdett. I texted her and I'm like, Lainey, I hope you're playing well. She's playing professionally right now for Orlando, and I'm like, Lainey, you're there with these goalkeepers. Lainey Burdett, she's a goalkeeper that played at the U of A, and she's playing professionally now. And I, if Alyssa doesn't cut it tomorrow, there's going to be. I would, as a coach, I would hope that they're looking in a different direction.
Well, like we talked about at the beginning, and you guys talked, if this is theirs to lose, that's tough. That's very tough. When you go into a place, you're the favorite. There's one thing to get there. It's another thing to stay there. And there's a lot of pressure. Even though you don't talk about it.
Yeah, what is the quote? You're made under pressure. So, I mean, that's what they've been preparing for. So these women, several of them have won a World Cup before. In 2015, there's a lot of newbies also. So it's just figuring out that combination and just at the end of the day, getting the job done. I mean, finding a way to win, and good teams find ways to win.
Yeah, no question about that. She's 31 years old.
Yeah, the goalkeeper.
So if you don't know who you are by that time, or have any doubt in your head,
yeah,
you're kind of.
Well, it's just the one weakness that Lisa and I've noticed watching. Well, I think
I think everyone has.
Yeah. Well, lastly, because we have about 90 seconds a sec, they're going to be at home. France is playing in front of their home crowd
In Paris.
Yeah.
Sold out game.
So what kind of pressure is that for U of A? Or USA? You're on their
Yeah, I mean, you know what? There's nothing better than playing in a stadium packed that's loud. You're playing your favorite sport. You're playing for your country. I mean, I think the focus, they're going to have to just be focused and not let that crowd get to them. But you're playing in front of, 50 of your favorite friends.
with about 12 people behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheering for you.
Yeah.
The rest hating you.
If we can score a quick one, we quiet the crowd and put the pressure on France because everyone in France expects them to win.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of pressure too.
Right.
They really do.
Right. Well, thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking soccer for a whole hour, Steve.
Yes, I know. Did I have any hives or anything? It's good. This is good. In fact, we're going to be able to put this show on YouTube. I'll send it to you guys tomorrow, so you can put it on your Facebook and all that. Cool. Another day of soccer in your world.
Yeah.
In your world.
Yeah.
Enjoy the summer. I know you guys are going to get back to playing, coaching soccer. Kids around. Enjoy your fishing expedition probably this weekend.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, I see you catching these huge fish. Pretty good eats. Or do you keep them? Do you eat them? What do you do?
If it's good eating fish, we'll keep one.
Yeah.
We let most of them go.
Nice. What a life. Adopt me, Bruce. Adopt me.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you
Steve.
for having
Take care.
us.
Go
Yes,
USA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for a good show today. Appreciate it.